Welcome back once again. As we all know, that President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi have attended in person a banquet meeting with Egyptian women that was held at El Ittihadiyya Palace, of course, starting from the attendance of Prime Minister Dr. Mustafa Bouli and high-ranking officials and other Egyptian ministers, women ministers from the cabinet, all of them, almost all of them, and also different Egyptian women from all brackets of society in Egypt, and also ideal mothers, where they this particular event was commemorated for the sake of the Egyptian mother, and how important is the Egyptian mother as the foundation of every society. Of course, President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi have held a lot of points, important points during this meeting. We're going to be shedding light over those points. We're very delighted to be joined over the phone Dr. Foad Razek, Professor of Foreign Policy and Editor-in-Chief of a London-based news website. Good morning, Dr. Abdel Razek.
Good morning, and thanks for having me.
It's a real pleasure to have you. Of course, President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi have given yesterday a very impressive speech that was mainly directed to women and how he appreciated the status of women. And he have directed to several over future projects also to be able to empower and enforce women. Where would you like to start?
As a matter of fact, it's difficult to start some point because it's a wide-ranging speech, and President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi frames Egyptian Mother's Day not merely as a social occasion, but as a national occasion that recognizes the fundamental and foundational role of mothers in building society. He presents motherhood as a pillar of national stability, values, and identity, emphasizing that the Egyptian mother is central to raising future generations and preserving social cohesion. Of course, there are so many messages the President used the occasion to reinforce values such as sacrifice, responsibility, family unity, education, and patriotism. He links motherhood to national identity by suggesting that strong families produce strong nations, and that Egyptian values are transmitted primarily through mothers who raise children with moral and national awareness. So it's so many messages President Sisi wants to convey through this occasion. He, for example, described the Egyptian mother as the first school, and this is very important. He emphasizes that education begins at home, like charity exactly begins at home before formal schooling. This is very important as it implies that mothers play a crucial role in shaping children's character, discipline, values, and sense of responsibility. It highlights the importance of upbringing, moral education, and early childhood development within the family environment.
How did the President portray the idea of balance between emotional strength and sacrifice in the role of a mother, the figure, the image of the mother?
Actually, the speech suggests that the Egyptian mother is defined by patience, sacrifice, resilience, compassion, and responsibility. These qualities contribute to shaping society by producing responsible citizens, maintaining family stability, and promoting social solidarity and moral values within the company, within the community. The President portrays the Egyptian mother as emotionally strong, yet self-sacrificing. He suggests that mothers quietly endure hardships and prioritize their children and families over their personal comfort. This balance between emotional strength and sacrifice is presented as a key reason for the resilience of Egyptian society.
Right. It was very obvious that ever since President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi have stepped into office, that he was very much into empowering and enforcing women, Egyptian women, on all fronts. And he have always described them as the driving force of society, driving force for every development and every rise of a nation. And that is true. They were a driving force through all the political stages in Egypt. How is that signified in his speech? How was it very obvious? In exactly what speech?
Yeah, it is very obvious that the president tried to make use of the occasion to present Egyptian women not only as a mother and caregiver, but also as an active participant in national development, working in education, healthcare, administration, politics, and social work. She is therefore portrayed as both the backbone of the family and a driving force in national development and stability. And let's concentrate on the fact that he referred to women as essential for maintaining family unity, raising responsible generations, and preserving social values. Without strong women and mothers, social cohesion would weaken. Therefore, women are seen as a social glue that keeps families and society together, and this is what exactly portrayed and depicted in President Sisi's speech in front of all women and representatives of women. And the main idea is to empower women in the society so as to be the backbone of the society, and mothers as a school, of course, a school of generation, as we say in Arabic, al-Ummu madrasa. إذا أعددت شعبا طيب الأعراق. This is very important. Actually, it was highlighted in the speech. And women in here are positioned as contributors through education, employment, leadership roles, social work, and participation in economic development. This is very important, as government programs supporting women, enabling women, especially female heads of households, and economic empowerment initiatives are all presented as part of Egypt's development strategy and Vision 2030, as I gather.
Right. Also, the President talked about the importance of the role of media and drama in raising awareness concerning women's rights, achieving the rights, attaining their full status in society, decision-making positions as ministers, as lawyers, as judges. He talked about many fronts and many issues concerning the different political and social rights of women. How was that reflected in the past probably 10 years?
The role of media is very important, and President Sisi, a long time ago and very recently, especially before Ramadan drama, he emphasized the importance of presenting something ethical, something that contributes to bringing the society into good ideas rather than promoting antisocial behavior. This is very important, and this is put a responsibility on the media to play its roles. Such ideas actually can be translated into practical actions, such as supporting working mothers, as you said, improving education and children's services, expanding social protection programs, encouraging women's employment and entrepreneurship, as well as promoting respect for women in media and drama, supporting orphan care, foster families, and social care institutions. What I noticed is that there is a good balance actually in his speech between traditional roles and modern views of women's roles. So, the speech here attempts to balance both views. It maintains the traditional role of women as mothers and family caregivers, while as well emphasizing modern roles such as leadership, economic participation, and political involvement. This reflects a model where women contribute both to family life and national development. Of course, there are so many challenges President Sisi highlighted actually, such as economic pressures and unemployment, culture and social barriers in some communities, balancing work and family responsibilities, access to education and employment opportunities, ensuring equal opportunities in leadership positions, funding and sustainability of social support program. These things really actually a good example of how to empower women, in addition to the fact that media should play such a role, and this is a big responsibility they should adhere to. Let me say, as a whole, overall, the speech presents the Egyptian woman as the cornerstone of both the family and the nation, emphasizing that empowering women is not only a social issue, but a national priority linked directly to Egypt's stability, development, and future.
That is very much true, especially the last part. But then talking about the president have also one of the probably you could call it here in Egypt of developing and new subjects that are added to that file, the women file, is the very important role of women in civil society, and how they have helped empower programs like the foster family program and the orphanages program, and also senior care facilities and support for people with special needs, like you kindly mentioned. Those were files that were on, but they weren't flourishing the same way. They needed a lot of help and a lot of work, and through presidential initiatives that is also in collaboration with the civil society, like Haya Karima or other safety programs that were held by the government, women were able to upgrade and add updates on those programs. If you like to elaborate.
Actually, I didn't hear the first part of the question. If you could repeat that, please, because somebody was talking to me as well.
I was talking about the president when he also focused on the part of the very eminent role of women in civil society when it comes to programs that were really greatly updated and worked on in the past 10 years, like the foster family program, like the orphanages program, like the senior care facilities and support for people with special needs. We have seen those initiatives for people with the different abilities that were raised by women here in Egypt lately. How do you assess all those programs held by women in the last 10 years?
That's what I emphasized actually when I commented on this, and the most important thing for such initiatives and such efforts are to be followed strictly, and President Sisi is very good in this point, that he doesn't leave things, and any promises done, any initiative needs a follow-up and strict follow-up by everybody in charge of anything to make this vision clear, to make this vision implemented in every corner of the society, and not only a matter of, sort of just speech. It should be implemented practically, and there should be kind of accountability. And here, accountability is very important, and that's what the President emphasizes all the time, not only in this occasion of Women's Day, but in all corners of society and in all aspects of social work and any other work. This is really very important to follow up and to come up with a strong vision, and enabling women in that sense is very, very important.
Right. The president also raised a very important point, and he directed to study the launch probably of a program under the title State of Arts and Creativity program that is very much on the following the footsteps of the State of Recitation program that was recently held during the month of Ramadan, and it's continuing also. How important is that particular directive by the President to be able to explore new talents and empower them and enforce them to give to society?
Yes, for the President to show such a thing is actually is a driving force and is just sort of guidance to others to follow in the footsteps of such great programs and great ideas. The important thing is here is to implement such vision, such programs, and make them effective, make them, working in the society within the values of society, values of families, and this is very important actually. And there is a need for others to follow suit, to follow this, and to put these ideas into practice.
On this note, would like to thank you very much, Dr. Foad Razek, Professor of Foreign Policy and Editor-in-Chief of a London-based news website. Thank you so much, and you have a good day. We're going to go to a short break and come back to you to continue the breakfast show, so stay with us.